Welcome in. Welcome in. It's lunchtime. Welcome in. Welcome in. Now, you all know what I was doing, don't you? I was into one of those drama movies, Bound to the Rogue Alpha King. Oh my goodness. Those little mini series that they have here on TikTok will get you in trouble, will cause you to be late. Welcome in to Tea with Lady DJ, lunchtime edition. Welcome in. As you're coming in, please, will you remember to get your daily heart meets? Tap the screen, share it out. At the bottom of your screen is an arrow that goes like that. If you tap it, then add to your stories. You don't have to stay clicking for so long. So I'm going to do it while you all do the same thing. I'll be right back. See, it didn't take any time. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. You all, I thought I was going to miss seeing you all several times a week, but I had to be more disciplined. I had other things that I was having to do, but I am enjoying having lunch and then dinner time with you guys. I am so enjoying it. Welcome in, welcome in. Don't forget to get your daily heart meets. I've got the blinds closed in my office because it is so hot outside and the sun is on this side. So I'm just going to keep the temperature down just a little bit. But welcome in, welcome in. Last week the week before that, we talked about apologies. So I want you to come up to the front, get your lunch and just listen and allow this to marinate with you. And then later tonight at 9:30, we'll go deeper and we'll take questions. But we did what a meaningful apology actually looks like. The second week, we unpacked conflict resolution. Can you all hear me okay? I hope so. I think I turned it up. Yeah. Okay. We unpacked conflict resolution, how to disagree better, how to lower the temperature, how to stay in the room without destroying each other. And then I got a question after it was all over last Tuesday. And it said, Lady DJ, okay? And I'm reading it to you as it was given to me. It said, Lady DJ, okay? We apologized. We resolved the conflict. Now what? Because I still don't trust them. And honestly, I'm not sure they trust me either. Wow. And I sat with that and I mused over it and mulled it over. Wow. And then I thought back. Did this person know me? Did he know that after all of the I'm sorry's, I love you, I still didn't trust? Where did this person come from? Has he been sitting in all of my lives? I don't know. I do not know. But I sat with it And no matter where I went over this 4th of July weekend, it was still there. It was still there. So, what happens when the dust settles? And I sat here at my desk. This is where I'm happy, right here at my desk. And I write. And I wrote, and I wrote. And I went back through my ottoman of stuff. And I said, I've been here before. I've been here before. I know what he's talking about. What happens after the dust settles? Let's go there. This is just the foundation. I am not going to keep you long, but tonight we'll go deeper. The gap no one talks about. The gap no one talks about. Here's what we don't talk about enough. You can apologize well and still be standing in the rubble. You can resolve the conflict and still feel the distance, because trust does not come back just because the argument stopped. It does not. Trust was the thing that got broken, got damaged, and it has its own timeline, its own requirement, its own work to be done. Trust. The dust settled, and the dust settling is not the same as the damage being repaired. It's not. The silence after a conflict is not the same as peace. It's not. Sometimes it's just exhaustion, wearing peace clothes, P-E-A-C-E, wearing peace clothes. And if we mistake the quiet for healing, we stop doing the work that healing actually requires. So, let's look at this. What trust really is. What trust really is. Trust is not a feeling. You all, this is difficult for me. Trust is not a feeling, and I need you to hear that. Trust is a conclusion. It is what you conclude about a person based on the evidence of their consistent behavior. Their consistent behavior over time. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, you guys, welcome in. It is what you conclude about a person based on the evidence of their consistent behavior over time, which means, Rod, thank you, welcome in, which means you cannot talk your way back to trust. And I need you to hear that really clear. You cannot talk your way back to trust. You cannot promise your way back to trust. You can only behave your way back to it. You can only behave your way back to it. Slowly, consistently, without an audience, and without a deadline. That's why the apology, as important as it is just the door opening. Walking through it, that's the behavior change. The apology, as important as it is just the door opening. Walking through it, that's the behavior change. And that's what this 2 weeks journey has been about. It's walking through the door. What do we need to do to get the door open? What do we do? How do we get there? It's a walkthrough. It's a behavior change. But if you don't know what trust is, then you can't make that change, can you? And that's what we're here to do, is get an understanding of what trust really is. Two things that must happen together. Not one, but they have to happen together. Two things that must happen together, and that's trust restoration and behavior change are not two separate topics. They are not. They are two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other. You can't. You cannot. Behavior change, and listen to me, behavior change without trust restoration says, I'm doing the work, but nobody believes me yet. I'm doing the work, but nobody believes me yet. And that's a lonely, frustrating place to live. A lonely, frustrating place to live. Trust restoration without behavior change says, I want to believe you, but I have no evidence. I heard what you said. I heard you, but I have no evidence. And that's an exhausting, heartbreaking place to wait. You're waiting to see a change. All you keep getting is lip service. They have to move together. The behavior has to change genuinely, not for performance. And the person who was hurt has to be given real evidence over real time to build a new conclusion about who you are. So, what gets damaged when trust breaks? What gets damaged when trust breaks? Not all trust damage is the same. And we need to name that before we go any further. We need to name it. Sometimes trust breaks because of a single significant event. Because of a single significant event. Betrayal, a lie, a moment of cruelty. That kind of damage is deep and concentrated. That kind of damage is down beyond the white meat. Sometimes trust erodes slowly. Not one big thing, but a pattern of small things over a long time. Dismissiveness, inconsistency, promises made and unmade. That kind of damage is wide and layered, and it can be harder to trace because there's no single moment to point to. There is not one single moment to point to. Both are real, both require the same commitment. And what is that? Honesty. Honest acknowledgement of what happened, and a sustained, observable change in behavior going forward. So before you go back to your regularly scheduled program, ask yourself honestly, is there a relationship in your life where the conflict is over? Thank you, Fred. Welcome in. Is there a conflict? Or is there a relationship in your life where the conflict is over, but the trust is still broken? I need you to be honest with yourself. I need you to think about that. I need you to sit with that question. Don't run from it. And tonight, we're going to go deeper. We're going to go deeper. So, this is a side dish to help with your lunch. In a few minutes after this is all over, I'm going to upload this to my Facebook page, to my Instagram, Threads, and to YouTube. So if you missed any part of the foundation, you can look at it before 9:30 tonight, the evening edition, tea after dinner with Lady DJ. And we're going to go deeper into trust. And we have to get this part first before we talk about the pathway back. And that's behavior change. So, thank you for having lunch with me. Don't forget, this is what you mull over until 9:30. Is there a relationship in your life where the conflict is over, but the trust is still broken? And we'll talk more about it this evening. Thank you for joining me for lunch. Until then, have an amazing day.